Hello friends, it's Kate from Lone Star Southern and I feel like my voice is almost gone. So if I'm sounding a wee bit tired and raspy today, that would be why. But I'm so excited to be back for week 2 of this new series I've started, Weekly Recaps. Gosh, let me just say, the first one I did a week ago was so fun. I literally had chills reading every single one of your comments, feeling like I had friends that I was keeping up with and learning about, and I was just touched by what y'all shared with me. So just know, like, that meant the world, and I was just thrilled to see that y'all wanted something like this. Let's go ahead and start with week number 2. So much has been happening this week, and I am so excited to fill you in on all of it. So here's just a general recap of this past week before I get into all the specific questions I love to go through. It was such a fun week. I actually got to spend Tuesday through Thursday with my mom in New York City. We go, well, this is our 2nd annual trip. Hopefully we can do this year after year, but we went and just had too much fun seeing shows and seeing all the lights and just experiencing that. It is amazing. And then I got back and I had a rehearsal dinner and a wedding of a darling friend, which was just too much fun. But needless to say, it's been a busy week and your girl is tired. But all the same, just so thankful for everything that's been going on and excited to give y'all this recap. So let's get started. Let's start with one comment that I read on my past weekly recap. Someone asked if I would say whatever nail color I'm wearing in every video. So the problem is I normally wear gel, and you know, those are always like random numbers on these cards. This was a C&D nail color. I can't remember the number. I should write it down. I just never know if nail salons have consistent numbering or not. If anyone knows, would you please let me know. But it's just like a Christmassy festive red. I normally don't ever wear red, but it was fun. So feeling a little spirited. Now on to my favorite song of the week. I got to see Anastasia the musical, and yes, it was fantastic. One of the songs I have had in my head all week long. So let me just play a little bit of it for you. It's called In a Crowd of Thousands, and it's when, well, I'm not gonna give away what happens, but listen to his voice. It's just so good.
It was June, I was 10. I still think of that day, now and then. A parade and a girl and a crowd of thousands.
So I've been singing it, trying to like force myself to have vibrato. If you have vibrato, which if you don't know what vibrato is, it's when someone's like, oh, it's that shake, which I've never ever been able to do. And so anyways, I've just been singing this at the top of my lungs, and my poor mom had to listen to it during our whole trip. So that's my favorite song. This past week, my mom and I went on a trip to New York City. Y'all, it was so cold. We're talking 27 degrees. It was just too much. But gosh, last spring I purchased this really fuzzy headband that I have been dying to wear because of course I can't wear this in like 40-degree Dallas weather. This. It's like a Russian thing that goes like, I realize it looks so ridiculous, but I had so much fun wearing this all around the city, and other people were wearing them too, so it wasn't weird. I still would have worn it anyways, but it kept me so warm. And now I like wish that this was a thing people did in Dallas. It certainly isn't, but maybe if I could look at Christmas lights or something. I don't know. The verdict is still out on how I can figure out more ways to wear this. So that is my favorite thing. My favorite verse of the week was actually a verse that one of my dear friends shared in community group last week. And it just hit me right where I was at. It's Psalm 73:17, and it says, "Until I went into the sanctuary of God." And so just a little recap of what's happening in this psalm. The writer is, you know, just down and out. He's confused by what he's seeing. He's seeing all these wicked people prosper, and he's feeling, you know, alienated and lonely, and he's confused by all of this. And then it says, "Until I went into the sanctuary of God." And then the psalm proceeds to talk about how that flipped his mind, and he was able to be like, oh wait, like, Lord, you are in control, you are with me. It says later, "My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart. For me, it is good to be near to God." And I just thought, man, that has so been me this entire holiday season. I feel like I have been running on fumes. It's been so busy, and I know a lot of you relate. The holidays can be so wild and crazy and draining and stressful. It's just that reminder, until I went to the sanctuary of God. And I find myself, when I'm not consistently spending time in the Word, which I haven't been the past few weeks, it's draining. And it's easy for me to lose sight of the bigger picture and to start getting consumed with all these things that just do not matter. And it's just been that steady reminder until I went to the sanctuary of God, like, yeah, Kate, nothing's gonna make sense if you're not connecting with the Lord consistently. And so to me, that was just such a clear picture of where I'm at. It was a reminder to me not to lose hope when things are crazy and I'm running around. Like, obviously, when I'm not connected to the source of all life, it's going to be draining. And so what a sweet reminder that the Lord, spending time with Him and like being in His love and His presence, that changes our perspective. It changes our understanding. It puts us right back where we need to be and where we really long to be. So, favorite verse, thank you, Sarah, for bringing that verse to my attention. I hope it encourages you as well during this crazy season. My favorite blog post of the week was a Christmas pajama post that I did. I shared 3 of my favorite Christmas PJs, which always just get me in the spirit. There were 3 really cute ones, like a plaid, there was a pink reindeer one, and then there was a blue and red stripe. And I just thought that was so fun. It was kind of different because I was inside, I was in pajamas, which I normally am not putting on the blog all the time. I wish I was. That was my favorite one. It just felt so Christmassy and cozy, and I loved putting it together. I also, funny story, I had to shoot that alone in my apartment because it was a quick turnaround, and so I had my little tripod and my camera and was doing all those poses, so I felt so silly, but it turned out great. I think I was happy with how it turned out, so that was just a little funny inside peek at the behind the scenes of the blog. Now on to my highs and lows. So I always like to start with the low so we can end on a high note. Today's low, or I guess I should say this week's low, is nothing super specific. I would just say it's been a general sense and feeling of exhaustion, like I'm not doing enough. And I know when I say this, because I've been having this conversation with many friends, so many of y'all can relate. I think it's a mental state we get in when we get tired. We just feel discouraged and we feel like we're not doing enough and we're not being good enough, what have you. But yeah, that's been me in terms of just blogging, in terms of life in general, in terms of getting back to people's texts and phone calls. I mean, I have been all over the place, not getting enough sleep. So my low would just be that just, I think, draining, like, oh, I'm tired and I need rest and I have no idea where I'm going to find some. My high would have to be, in general, my trip to New York with my mom, but there was one morning in particular we woke up and our room had this view of Central Park, which was just a dream. And I woke up and I looked outside and it was snowing. And Central Park was covered in white and everything was kind of this muted, beautiful, neutral, kind of white and beige. And I put on the White Christmas soundtrack and just watched kind of the taxis, and I put a little bit of it on Insta story, and it was just magical. It was your quintessential Christmas morning. I felt like when else am I going to see snow falling on Central Park, you know, at 7 in the morning? It was just magical. So that was my high. Christmas time, it's just the best. Okay, so there you have my quick weekly recap. I think I covered everything. Let's see, this coming week is just more busyness until the holidays. I am really looking forward to kind of cranking out these next few days, and then I like to take a full week off after Christmas, which for me is no blog posts, no Instagrams. It's so hard to do, but I found it just really refreshes me. I just need that at the end of the year. So looking forward to this next week, and so looking forward to hearing about your week. I want to hear highs and lows, favorite songs, favorite, memories, what have you, what nail color you're loving. To me, this is the most fun thing. I'm just giddy at the thought of finally getting able to connect with y'all. So go ahead, leave me a comment, tell me everything. I read every single one, and I adore y'all. So thank you again for checking out this second weekly recap. We're on a roll. This is great, looking good, and I can't wait to see y'all next week. Until then, you'll find me on Instagram at Lone Star Southern and on the blog at lonestarsouthern.com. Merry Christmas, y'all. Talk to you soon.